Welcome back to Podscribe Studio by Robooks22. I'm your host, Indigo Laney, and tonight's story is called Whispers Beneath the Ash Tree. The first leaves of fall are drifting down. The air smells like rain, smoke, and endings that have a way of finding us when we least expect them. Sometimes, what we bury doesn't stay buried for long, and that is what our protagonist finds out the hard way. So without further ado, let's begin. They say when a Scorpio loves, he loves all the way down to the bone. Maybe that's why it hurts so much to let her go. It's been 3 weeks since Maya left. Her perfume still lingers on the pillow. Her books still line the shelves. I haven't had the heart to box them up yet. I took a walk this morning, hoping the air might clear my head. The leaves were beginning to fall, gold and rust tumbling across the street like tiny fires. That's when I saw it. An envelope, half buried beneath the old ash tree behind my building. It wasn't sealed. The letter was soft with age. The ink faded but still legible. It began simply, "To my beloved, I can still hear the wind calling your name." It wasn't addressed to anyone. No return name, no date, just that strange, aching confession. I almost dropped it back to the dirt, but something about it felt personal, close, like the words were meant for me. When I looked closer, I saw another corner of paper jutting from the ground. A few feet away, another letter, then another. By the time I was done digging, I had a stack of them, dozens, wrapped in ribbon that had long since rotted away. They were all love letters, desperate, poetic, embarrassingly intimate, each written by a different woman, each addressed to the same man. The name written in every letter was Jonas Creeley. The house behind the ash tree belonged to old Mr. Creeley, my neighbor's grandfather. He'd passed away years ago, before I moved in. My neighbor Owen mentioned him once, said the man was peculiar, a word people use when they're too polite to say something's wrong. That night, I couldn't sleep. The letters stayed on my kitchen table, whispering in my mind like they wanted to be read again. The third one began like this. "Jonas, you said the tree would always protect us. You said you would always protect us. But I know the tree is hungry again, isn't it? I can hear it breathing beneath the soil." I read that line over and over until the words didn't feel like words anymore, just a sound that vibrated in my ribs. The next morning, I went back to the ash tree. I don't know why. Maybe curiosity, maybe guilt, or something else entirely. The bark was split near the base, wide enough for me to slide my hand into the hollow. It was warm inside, and that's when I heard it. A whisper, low, breathless, female. It said my name. I staggered back, nearly falling into the roots. My name. No one was there but the ground, and the ground moved. I called Owen later that afternoon, asked him what he knew about his grandfather. There was a pause on the line, the kind that says, "You already know too much." He told me not to dig near that tree. Said his grandfather used to spend nights out there alone, talking to it, feeding it. Feeding it. Those words sank in, slow, cold. That night, I couldn't stop thinking about Maya, about how she used to sit with me under that same tree, laughing about the strange carvings in the trunk. She said it looked like someone's initials, the same ones burned into the corners of the letters. I went back one last time. There was moonlight slipping through the branches, painting the roots in silver. The soil was soft, freshly churned. I knelt down and pressed my hand against it. Something pressed back, and I ran. I swear I ran. But halfway across the yard, I heard the voices. Every letter I read, every whisper rising up in the wind, crying for him, for Jonas Creeley. I don't know what I expected to find when I turned around. Maybe nothing, maybe everything. But what I saw, the ash tree was bleeding. Dark sap poured from its cracks, thick and slow. And in its shadow, I could see them, the ghosts of the women from the letters, their faces pale, their mouths open, whispering my name again and again. The earth split open at the roots, and there, tangled in the soil, was Maya's scarf. I dropped the letters. They vanished into the ground like they'd never existed. And now when the wind moves through the branches, I swear I can still hear them. The whispers, soft and pleading. Sometimes I even hear her voice. And they're not calling for Jonas anymore. They're calling for me. That was the whispers beneath the ash tree. They say the past always finds its way to the surface, but sometimes it digs its way out. Thanks for listening to another episode of Podscribe Studio by Robooks22. I am your host, Indigo Laney. Until next time, keep reading, keep imagining, and keep coming back for more stories. Peace.